Pujasmarpayami Shri Shri Sababa Namaha Om Pavitra Pavitra Sarvavashtatangato Viva Yasmaret Pundarikaksham Sabhabantara Suchi Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshvara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Bhurbhuva Suvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat Om Suklam Bhararam Vishnu Sashivanam Chaturbhujam Prasadavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vigno Pashantare Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Brahmanadam Paramasukadam Kevalam Janamurtim Danvatitam Gangasardasham Tattvamasaladaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Archaram Sarvari Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Tribunatitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Yam. Guru consciousness is bliss absolute, the bestower of ultimate happiness. It is knowledge itself, beyond duality, pervasive as the sky. It is the final goal of the statement, Thou art that. It is unity itself, eternal, unembellished, and unwavering. It is the witness of all thoughts, beyond all states, and untouched by the three gunas. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namah. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namah. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namah. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namah. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Vahanam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Asanam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Pajam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Argyam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Achanam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Sananam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Bhushtanam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Chandanam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Kashanam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Pushpam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Navijam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Jal Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Dupam Smarpayami. Om Shri Sanatai Namaha Deepam Smarpayami. Guru Brahma Vishnu Gurudevo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Akandalaندamandalakaram Nityena Chakaram Tatpradam Darshtam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Snathanama Namaskaram Smarpayami. Arti Smarpayami. Shri Shri Sai Baba Namaha. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Shri Sai Hare Bhaktajaram Samrashaka Bhaktajaram Samrashaka Shri Maheshwara Om Jai Jagadish Hare Shivararam Shrikara Sarva Pranapataye Swami Sarva Pranapataye Ahashrita Kalpalatika Ahashrita Kalpalatika Apadbandava Om Jai Jagadish Hare Mata Pita Gurudev Mariam Tayanive Swami Mariam Tayanive Narada Brahma Jagannatha Narada Brahma Jagannatha Nagandraya Sharaya Om Jai Jagadish Hare Om Kara Rupa Hare Shiva Sai Mahadeva Shirdi Sai Mahadeva Mangala Harati Anduka Mangala Harati Anduka Mandara Giri Hare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu 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 loka samasta. 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 Sukhino bhavantu. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Akhilanda Koti Brahma Dhanayaka Rajdi Rajyogi Rajapara Brahma Sachitananda Smatsatguru Shri Bhagavan Shirdi Sai Maharaj Ki Akhilanda Koti Brahma Dhanayaka Rajdi Rajyogi Rajapara Brahma Sachitananda Smatsatguru Shri Nandamai Maharaj Ki Akhilanda Koti Brahma Dhanayaka Rajdi Rajyogi Rajapara Brahma Sachitananda Smatsatguru Shri Bhagavan Shakancharya Maharaj Ki. Paramam bhavikram bhavaha vibhutim paramam vichitram lila vibhutim paramahat maestra damoksha pradatam bhava vibhutim itamam smarami sabhava vibhutim satatam smarami Shirdi Sai Vibhutim Manasam Smarami. Om, Om, Om. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurmam Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sahana Bhavantu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sai Shri Sai Jai Jai Sai. Jai Guru, peace and blessings to everyone here. Yvonne, Victor, Kat, Laura, Catalina, and Dee, welcome. As we continually on to our weekly Sri Sai Satcharita reading, we move to a great chapter of 22. XXII. Preliminary. How to meditate on Baba. No one has been able to fathom the nature or form of the Almighty. Even the Vedas and the thousand-tongued Sesha are not able to describe it fully. The devotees also cannot know, but only look at the form of the Lord for they know that his feet are their only refuge. They know no other method of attaining the supreme goal of life except meditating on the holy feet. Hemdepant suggests an easy way of devotion and meditation as follows. As the dark fortnight of every month wears out gradually, the moonlight also wanes in the same degree, and on the new moon day we do not see the moon at all. Therefore, when the bright fortnight begins, people are very anxious to see the moon. On the first day, the moon is not seen. On the second day, she emerges as a thin crescent. Then the people are asked to see the moon through the opening between the two branches of a tree. And when they begin to see this through this aperture, the distant small crescent moon comes to their sight. Following this instance, let us see Baba's form. Look at Baba's posture. How fine it is! He is sitting with his legs folded, the right leg across the left knee. The fingers of his left hand are spread on the right foot. On the toe are spread his two fingers, the index in the middle. By this posture, Baba seems to say, if you want to see my true form, be egoless and most humble, and meditate on my toe through the opening between my index and middle fingers, and then you will be able to see my light. Now let us turn to Baba's life. Shirdi has become a place of pilgrimage on account of Baba's stay there. People from all quarters began to flock there, and both the rich and the poor began to be benefited in more ways than one. Who can describe Baba's boundless love and his wonderful knowledge and his all-pervasiveness? Blessed is he who could experience these. Sometimes Baba observed long silence, which was in a way his dissertation on Brahma. At other times he was pure consciousness, bliss incarnated, surrounded by his devotees. Sometimes he spoke in parables, and at other times indulged in wit and humor. At times he was quiet and calm, and at times he seemed enraged. Sometimes he gave his teachings in a nutshell, and other times he argued at length. Many a times he was very direct. In this way, he gave varied instructions to many according to their requirements. His life was therefore instructable beyond the ken of our mind, intellect, and speech. Our longing to see his face, to talk with him, and to hear his Leelas was never satisfied. Still, we were overflowing with joy. We can gauge the showers of rain, capture the wind in a leather bag, but who can measure his Leelas? Now we deal here with one aspect of them, how he anticipated or forestalled the calamities of his devotees and warned them in time. Balasheb Mirkar. Balasheb Mirkar, son of Sardra Kakasheb Mirkar, was a Multaradar of Kopergan. He was going on tour to Chalati. On the way, he came to Shirdi to see Baba. When he went to the masjid and prostrated himself before Baba, the usual conversation regarding health and other matters commenced. When Baba sounded a note of warning, "Do you know our Dukharmai?" As Balasheb did not understand, he kept quiet. Baba continued, "This is our Dukharmai. Where you are sitting, she wards off all dangers and anxieties of the children who sit on her lap. This Masjid Ma is very merciful. She is the merciful mother of the simple devotees, whom she will save in calamities. Once a person sits on her lap, all his troubles are over. He who rests in her shade gets bliss." Then Baba gave him Udi and placed his hand on his head. When Balasheb was about to depart, he again said, "Do you know the Lamba Baba?" Is the serpent. And then, closing the left fist, he brought it under his right elbow and moving his left arm like the hood of a serpent said, "He is so terrible. But what can he do to the children of the Dukharmai? When the Dharma protects, what can the serpent do? All who were present there were curious to know the meaning of all this, and its reference to the mirror car, but none of them had the courage to ask Baba about this. Then Balushab saluted Baba and left the masjid with Shama. Baba called Shama back and asked him to accompany Balushab and enjoy the trip with him. Shama came to Balushab and told him that he would go with him, according to Baba's wish. Balushab replied that he need not come, as it would be inconvenient. Shama returned to Baba and told him that Balushab said to him. Baba said, "All right, do not go. We should mean well and do well. Whatever is destined to happen will happen." In the meanwhile, Balushab thought it over again and calling to Shama asked him to accompany him. Then Shama went again to Baba after taking his leave, started with Balushab in the Tonga. They reached Chalati at 9 p.m. and encamped in a Moratti place. The office people had not come, so they sat in the temple, talking and chit-chatting. Balushab was sitting on a mat, reading a newspaper. His upper dhotar was spread across his waist, and on it a snake was sitting unnoticed. It began to move with hissing sounds, which was heard by the Pinon. He brought a lantern, saw the snake, and raised an alarm. "Serpent, serpent!" Balushab was frightened and began to quiver. Shama was also stunned. Then he and others moved quietly and took sticks and clubs in their hands. The snake slowly came down the waist and moved away from Balushab, and it was immediately done to death. Thus this calamity, which was prophesied by Baba, was averted by Balushab's devotion, and Baba was confirmed. Bapu Sheb Bhuti. A great astrologer named Nana Sheb Dengal told Bapu Sheb Bhuti, who was then in Shirdi, "Today is an inauspicious day for you. There is danger in your life." This made Bapu Sheb restless. When they, as usual, came to the masjid, Baba said to Bapu Sheb, "What does this Nana say? He foretells death for you? Well, you need not be afraid. Tell him, 'Let us see how death kills.'" Then later in the evening, Bapu Sheb went to his privy for easing himself, where he saw a snake. His servant saw it and lifted a stone to strike it. Bapu Sheb asked him to get a big stick, but before the servant returned with the stick, the snake was seen moving away and soon disappeared. Bapu Sheb remembered Baba's words of fearlessness. Amir Shakar. Amir Shakar was a native of the village Korahel in Kopergan. He belonged to a butcher caste. He worked as a commission agent in Mumbai and was well known there. He once suffered from rheumatism, which gave him much pain. He then remembered Allah, left his business, and went to Shirdi and prayed to Baba to relieve him from this malady. Baba then stationed him in the Chavadi. The Chavadi was then a damp, unhealthy place, unfit for such a patient. Any other place in the village itself would have been better for Amir, but Baba's word was commanded in the chief medicine. Baba did not allow him to come to the masjid, but fixed him in the Chavadi every morning and evening. Every alternate day, Baba went to the Chavadi in the procession to sleep there, so Amir got Baba's contact very often. Amir stayed there for 9 months, and then he got disgust from the place. So one night he stealthily left the place and came to Kopergan and stayed in the Dharmashala. There he saw an old dying fakir who asked him for water. Amir brought it over and gave it to him. As soon as he drank it, he passed away. Now Amir was in a fix. He thought that if he went and informed the authorities, he would be held responsible for the death, as he was the first and sole informant and knew something about it. He repented for his action, leaving Shirdi without Baba's permission, and prayed to Baba. He then determined to return to Shirdi at the same night he retreated, remembering and muttering Baba's name all the way, and reaching Shirdi before daybreak, and became free from anxiety. Then he lived in the Chavadi in perfect accordance with Baba's wishes and orders, and got himself cured. One night it just so happened that Baba cried at midnight, "Oh, Abdul, some devilish creature is dashing against the side of my bed." Abdul came with a lantern, examining Baba's bed, but found nothing. Baba asked him to examine carefully all the places and began to strike the ground with his satka. Seeing this Lela of Baba, Amir thought that Baba might have suspected some serpent there. Amir could not know by close contact with Baba the meaning of his words and actions. Baba then saw near Amir's cushion something moving. He asked Abdul to bring some light, and when he brought it, he saw the serpent coiled up there, moving its head up and down. Thereupon the serpent was immediately beaten to death. Thus Baba gave timely warning and saved Amir's life. The Scorpion and the Serpent. At Baba's recommendation, Kakashep Dixit was daily reading the two works of Sri Eknath Maharaj, the Bhagavat and the Bhagavrati Ramayana, and Hemdapant had the good fortune to be the one of the audience when the reading of the works was going on. Once, when a portion from the Ramayana relating to Hanuman's testing on Rama's greatness according to his mother's instruction was being read, all the listeners were spellbound. Hemdapant was one of them. A big scorpion jumped and sat on the right shoulder of Hemdapant on his upper dhotar. First it was not noticed, but as the Lord protects those who are intent on hearing his stories, he casually casts a glance over his right shoulder and notices it. It was dead silence, not a bit moving here or there. It seemed as if it also enjoyed the reading. Then by the Lord's grace, Hemdapant, without disturbing the audience, took the two ends of his dhotar, folded them, and brought them together, enclosing the scorpion within. Then he went out and threw it in the garden. On another occasion, some persons were sitting in the upper floor of Kakashep's wada just before nightfall when a serpent crept through the hole in the window's frame and sat coiled up. A light was brought. Though it was just dazzled, yet it sat still and moved in its head up and down. Then many persons rushed there with sticks and cudgels, but at that time sat in an awkward place. No blow could be dealt, but hearing the noises of men, the serpent went out hastily through the same hole. Then all the persons present there felt relieved. Baba's opinion. One devotee named Muktaram then said that it was good that the poor creatures escaped. Hemdapant challenged him, saying that serpents should be better killed. There was a hot discussion between them, the former contending that serpents and such creatures should not be killed, the latter that they should be. As night came on, the discussion came to an end without any decision being arrived at. Next day, the question was referred to Baba, who gave his settled opinion as follows. God lives in all beings and creatures, whether they be serpents or scorpions. He is the great wire puller of the world, and all beings, serpents, scorpions, etc., obey his command. Unless he wills it, nobody can do any harm to others. The world is all dependent on him, and no one is independent. So we should take pity and love on all creatures, leave off killings, and be patient. The Lord God is the protector of all. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Om Sai Sri Sai. Jai Jai Sai. Jaya Guru, Jaya Guru, Jaya Guru, Om Guru, Om Guru, Om Gurudev, Om Guru, Om Guru, Om Gurudev, Jaya Guru, Jaya Guru, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Guru, Jaya Guru, Jaya Gurudev, Om Guru, Om Guru, Om Jai Guru. Om Sai Shri Sai Jai Jai Sai. Guru Rav. Peace and blessings to this Holy Thursday, this Guru Day, the Holy Preceptor Day, whoever it is that you call God, your Ishtadevata, your Shri Bhumi, your love. This is the day that we honor this being, these great teachers, the great guides that have gone before us, that have led a path, a clear path for us to follow. As in the reading said, as we move from the dark fortnight to the light fortnight, we are probably in the day of the last quarter of this moon cycle as we are moving into the dark fortnight. So this is one of my favorite Leelas and stories that Baba's left for us as we look at this imagery of Baba's fingers around the toe, like the story in the tree. You can say that next time the moon is in the sliver, look through the two branches at just the point, and it gets larger because it has then definition to relate to. But as we gaze at Baba's big toe, no matter it being the bright time of the moon or the dark time of the moon. We're always protected by its grace, and the toe is always shining. The toe is always shining here on the Murti and on the statue, and love is always pervading from Baba. He is always protecting us, watching us, and keeping it. So may we move forward with blessings and grace, and may we move together in unity and harmony, knowing that the Guru watches our movements and keeps us protected along the path. Thank you for everyone else new that has joined. Yvonne, Krista, good to see you. Lil Witchy One. Love button number 5. I don't know what that means, but number 5 is good. Om Ham Hanumatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Hrim Om Shivaya. Hrim Om Shri Ma Jai Jai Ma. Om Sai Shri Sai Jai Jai Sai. Jai Guru Jai Ma. Hrim 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 Hrim. Let's do something. Ooh, Jai Ma. Baba's underwater. Wow. Om Tat Sat.